What up, everyone? Welcome back to my mess of a room. I'll make a video explaining all of this later this week, so be on the lookout for that because I'm actually very excited about what I have planned here. But today we are going to talk about the notion that the Balisong community is dying, which is a strange thing to say considering that we are in the best place that we have been in a long time. But I've seen this sentiment going around quite a bit. I've seen comments in, I think, Blade Bias. I'm not exactly remembering exactly where I saw them. Could have been in a different Flippers channel or in my live streams. Link to my main channel where I live stream quite a bit in the description. But I've seen some people, not too many people, but some people saying that, oh, the Balisong community is dying. And this definitely isn't helped by the fact that recently we got news that a very prominent flipper and content creator, Clockwork Flips, isn't enjoying the hobby as much as he used to and will be leaving in the coming months, which is very sad. I just want to take a quick second to say, Clockwork, thank you for everything that you've done. I've never talked to you personally, but I've known about you for quite a while. You've done some awesome stuff. Thanks for everything. Good luck in your future endeavors. But this idea that the Balisong community is dying seems to be perpetuated by three things: people leaving, drops not selling out as quickly as they used to, and the personal opinion of some younger person, let's say, who has plateaued and is getting bored of the hobby. And I just want to take a moment to just say, quell everyone's fears. Actually, also the mass platform banning of Balisong-related content on like Instagram and YouTube, people dealing with strikes such as myself on YouTube, and also people dealing with posts being taken down off of like hashtag Balisong sale. That fear, this was a few months ago that people were like, oh, the Balisong community is going to die because major platforms like aren't going to allow us. That seems to have mostly subsided for now, especially with selling places like Blade Bay now on the market. So I'm not going to dive too much into that, but it is worth mentioning because that is one of the ones that I think legitimately could have had some water if anything actually came of that. And hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing does. But to address the earlier points, people leaving the hobby is a natural progression of a hobby. You're going to have people who get bored, who don't enjoy it like they used to, who leave because the community is toxic. I think we can all agree that there are huge parts of this community that are very toxic and demoralizing to be a part of, which is why we've lost certain people. I believe Addison mentioned something like that on his Instagram at one point. And also you get people who, this kind of goes into point 3, I'm now realizing, who plateau and then kind of get bored. And the Balisong community is blessed, but also semi-cursed in the sense that it is mostly comprised of younger people. And that's not a bad thing by any means. But because younger people have more time to spend on hobbies, they get more invested, and they do more cool things. You see a lot of people who get their first Balisong and then make a quick YouTube video because they're super excited about it. But the thing with that is that within a few months, their attention span also isn't the greatest most of the time. I'm just generalizing here. I'm not saying, oh, if you're under a specific age, you're not going to be interested for more than whatever. I know I'm going to get comments like that. That's not what I'm saying. But you're going to get a couple people here and there who flip, really enjoy it, and then they get bored of it or they plateau specifically, which in every skill in life you're going to plateau at. It is an inevitability, whether it's video games, flipping, chess, whatever. You're going to get to a point where you level out and you have to work insanely hard to get out of that. And it's just all about getting past that. And some people don't, and that's completely okay. But that results in people saying, okay, I think I'm done flipping. I'm selling my entire collection after being in the community for a few months, posting a bunch of cool clips, getting really good, and then just bailing. And that's okay. Because, you know, you don't want to force yourself to do something that you don't enjoy anymore. Now, the other one is I can understand a little bit more. Now, when they feed into each other, I do understand why people say, oh, it's... Okay, no, I don't understand why people say it's dying, because it's not. This is objectively the best that the hobby has ever been, especially with all of the low price entry options that are now available. I can think of more under $100 Balisong than I can over... Oh my gosh, I just can't speak today. I can think of more sub $100 trainers than I can think of higher than $200 trainers. And that was never the case before, because they didn't exist below $100, and now they do. So the entry level is way, way infinitely more accessible than it used to be, which means that getting people into the hobby is easier than ever, along with the fact that big content creators, Ludwig, PewDiePie, the Trash Taste podcast, have been exposing people to the idea of Balisongs, albeit in very minor ways. Now, to address the drops aren't selling out thing, that isn't necessarily a point that the Balisong community is dying. I think that just has to do with a larger economic state of the country and of the world, because real life has caught up to us since COVID. The explosion of hobbies and free time since COVID started has died down, and the amount of money that people have to spend on more hobbyistic things, hobbyistic, is that a word? I'm going to use it as a word, because screw you, is the money that you can spend on hobbyistic kind of things is drying up, and that's just how it's going to be. I mean, if you look at a drop not selling out within 2 seconds and say, oh, the community is dying, like this is going to be an obsolete hobby, this is an obsolete hobby, this hobby sucks, whatever, you're dumb. No offense. Actually, a little bit of offense, because you have... you're in a bubble, my friend, because that's how everything is right now. So yeah, I've been rambling on. I don't even know if what I'm saying makes sense. Hopefully it does. But basically, to summarize, no, the Balisong community is not dying, as some commenters and Instagram people have been saying. That's where I've seen it. Instagram stories that are like, oh, hobby's dead. Lol. Is it declining, or is it in a bit of a rut right now? Yes, absolutely. I don't think I'm certainly not denying that. But is it dying? No. Even in this rut, it's probably bigger than it was back in 2018, 2019. Now, I wasn't around back then, so I can't say that for sure. But that's certainly speculation on my part that I would feel comfortable putting out there because of all the options that we have now and all the cool things that are happening. So yeah, I just figured that was worth talking about. No, the Balisong community is not dying. Yes, we're in a rut right now, but I have faith that we'll get out of it. We'll see. Anyways, I'm going to get going. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.